Yeah, so as you can see here, we have some amazing props that the wonderful Caroline has created. And I feel like we need to do a little tour of the props because they are so wonderful. So just behind me here, we've got this wonderful backdrop, which is actually pages from my book, with one of Caroline's pictures printed onto it, with Caroline's picture of spring printed onto it, which is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And then we've got this beautiful bunting, which I've managed to just...
You could wear that, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It's so
That's
beautiful.
also made from pages of your book,
Yeah,
Liz.
made
Yeah.
from pages of my
Yeah,
book,
yeah.
which is wonderful.
Amazing.
And then we have afternoon tea, or welcome. We've got
Yeah.
our teapot and our lovely china teacups.
Just to make everybody jealous.
Yeah, we have. And we've got more cake here, the cake stand. And then what we have here, this is the exciting thing about the afternoon. So we've got a treasure chest, of course, because it's treasure in dark places. So our treasure chest is brimful of treasure, as you can see. There's lots of things in here, really exciting things. And there's actually some prizes in here. And we might, through the afternoon, be giving away some of these prizes. So listen out. And there might even be some signed copies of books in there. You never know. So we'll see about that. And then we have some lovely old books and just general treasure ambience.
Yeah. It's all about the treasure today, isn't it?
Okay, so I think what we're going to do is start with one of the poems, which is the video that I made of the poem called The Beginning, just to get you into the mood and just to represent a little bit of what the book's about. So Tim, go for it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that little snippet of the book, the first poem in the book. And this afternoon, as you can see, I've got my dear friends with me who I'd just like to welcome now. So I've got Dawn.
Hi.
And Caroline.
Hi.
Who have been an amazing support all through this, the writing of this book. And I just want to thank them for coming. And I've actually got a little signed copy for each of you.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'll just check it's the right one that I give to you. That one's for you.
Oh, thank
There you
you.
very own
And that
book.
one's for you. Just to say thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I think what we'll do is we will have the first prize and the prize draw. But in order to win this, what you need to do is actually watch the next video, which is a trailer video of my book. And the first person on the feed to tell me the colour of my curtains in this video will get the first prize. But I think I need to ask you to be a local person to get this prize. I'm sorry about that. I will ask. Sometimes I'll ask you to be local, and other times I'll say it's open to everyone. So yes, the first local person that can collect, or we can drop off to. So yeah, watch out for this video and watch out for the curtains. Okay, go for it, Tim. Life can hurt. Life's hurt for even more of us over the past year. Sometimes we've wondered where hope is, and sometimes we've wondered where God is, when times seem too tough and shadows seem too deep. But shadows can't exist without light, and sometimes it's in the most unexpected places where we find treasure. Treasure in Dark Places is a collection of honest poetry and re-imaginations of biblical accounts and encounters with Jesus. Most of it was written through lockdown, where I was shielded because of my lung condition. It's a call to the hope that we find in Jesus, even when we're living in pain or sorrow or any kind of difficulty. And my prayer is that as you read these words, you will be soothed, you will be comforted, and you will be showered in heaven's treasure, even when you're hurting. Okay, so great. So we have a winner for our first prize, and the first person to say cream, not teal, Tabitha. I know that I love teal, but those curtains are not teal. Were you watching the video? The first person to say cream, who's local, is Alice Osborne.
Woo.
So well done, Alice. So I'm going to dig out the first prize. So what shall I dig out? Oh. How about that?
Dawn, I don't think
Oh.
let her have that.
No, I think we need to have that actually, Liz.
Yeah,
I think we deserve that. Do you think Alice will let us have that?
We've worked very hard today.
We have.
I think we deserve it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We need to get something else for Alice.
Yeah.
Okay.
There'll be something else in there, I'm sure.
All right. Well, where are you going to put it? Because we haven't got any glasses.
Well, how about, seeing as it's a tea party, teacups? Yes!
I like.
I'll,
Shall I?
yes, excuse me. I'll pass the bottle over to you, shall I, in a moment?
Wonderful.
Okay. Tell you what you mean.
Wonderful.
Do you think we need to pass a cup to the sound technician as well?
Maybe.
I feel that we should. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sound
I think
technician
that's
Tim in the corner there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just going to pick out another prize for Alice here.
Oh,
There
she
you go.
does.
You get
There
a
you go,
dinky
Alice.
one. You still get your champagne, but
Yeah.
you get a dinky one. So at some point, if you want to come and get that, that would be lovely.
This is called bubble with champagne. I've got about a centimetre in the bottom.
Sorry about that.
Do you want some more?
We'll top you up in a minute.
Okay, so cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
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 Some people have got some really interesting drinks in there. I don't know if you noticed, but there's Lapsang Souchong tea.
Oh,
and
people on
Wow.
the
hot chocolates and what else have we seen? Rosé.
Yes, I saw
Yeah,
those.
I saw some rosé. Tabby says booze out of a teacup is such a mood. Okay,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That's a good word.
I think that means we're trendy.
Okay.
I don't know, but
I don't mind that one.
possibly.
It's great to see you all. Thank you for joining into the feed. I'm sorry I'm not getting to everybody. So where are we going now? We're going to you, Dawn.
Yes, because the main reason we are here is for this amazing book, of which I now have a signed copy. So, yeah, I wanted to ask you, Liz. I mean, you published Catching Contentment last year. It was really successful.
2 years ago.
Oh, was it 2 years ago? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you want to write this particular book?
Yeah, well, when I first went into shielding early on in the year, back in March, I got the shielding letter and I was like, okay, it told me I'd have to shield 12 weeks at first. I thought to myself, well, that's fine. I can finish writing the book I'm writing. I thought I had it all figured out. I thought it'd be fine, it'd be easy. Because in some ways I'm quite used to being housebound at times when I get infections. So I thought I could do it. But it turned out the words were just not coming for that particular book. And it just wasn't quite working out. So I found myself wondering what I should be doing. And I think it was you, Dawn, that said, how about just writing for joy? What would it feel like if you just wrote for joy at this time and then wrote out of your experience of what's happening? So I started to go for that. And then about the same time, a couple of people actually said, why don't you get together a collection of some of the stories and poems you've written and put on your blog? And so I thought, oh, well, maybe this could be a direction I could go in. I'll see where it goes. So I just started writing, and I started to find that this poetry especially was really starting to flow out of the experience of shielding, which was much harder than I thought it would be. I really struggled with it mentally. So I found that the poems were very honest and sometimes really raw. But they started to come together out of that, and then the stories as well. I'd written some of them before, but then I found a whole load of fresh material was coming, and it just seemed to keep flowing out of this experience. So yeah, that's really where it came from.
Yeah. So what do you hope people will get out of it when they read it?
I really hope that people will be able to relate to it and relate to the fact that you don't have to it's okay to struggle if you're a Christian, and it's okay to admit to it. It's okay to admit to the pain of it. In any kind of struggle. It's not just that I want this book to be speaking to people with chronic illness like me, but just people with any of the situations that you face in life in general at all, and especially perhaps for people who have been struggling in lockdown in any way, or just thinking about the next few months and thinking, when is this going to end and what's it going to look like? So I really pray that the pieces in the book will speak to you and speak, to the deep places in you, and that you will find that it is really in the darkest places where you find treasure, where you find the depths of God. And there's a lovely verse in Isaiah 45 that talks about how God will give us the treasures of darkness and the riches of the secret places. And I love that verse, and that's kind of where it was born out of. And that's kind of my experience of what it's been like to live with chronic illness that is sometimes in the darkest places where I've really kind of encountered God. And sometimes as well, sometimes it's been really tough and like there's a brick wall, and it's about admitting that that's the case as well, and not saying it's all triumph and wonderful all the time. So, yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, as a fellow writer, and I think there are other writers who are watching this today, what I'd be really interested to know, I haven't warned you about this, but what did you enjoy most about writing it, and what did you struggle most with writing this?
Oh gosh, that's a huge question. That is huge. I really loved writing some of the Easter pieces through shielding. There was a couple of stories that I wrote new. Well, 3 stories I wrote brand new, and because Easter was such a weird time this year, it was so strange not being able to be in church or celebrate with a church family. But I found that actually writing those stories really kind of took me above all of that, and to all the truth of what Easter is all about. And it doesn't have to be about kind of being in a building. That God is bigger than that. You know, we don't have to contain him like that.
Mm.
And so that was a real high point, and I love doing that. Which bit did I struggle with?
Yeah, or what aspect of putting it together do you struggle with?
Probably more some of the practical stuff, like the editing and the formatting and getting it all ready for publication, because I do love all the writing bits, but there's times it gets a little bit tedious, I think, sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant. Shall we have another prize draw?
That
do you
sounds like a
think,
good idea. Should we go for an easy one again? and then we'll get sort of progressively harder. Okay, so what's my favourite colour?
Oh.
Go!
Yeah.
It might be a while
Oh.
before we see it on the screen
Yeah.
on the thing, because it's behind. Keep
Mine's
talking among
behind.
ourselves while
Mine
we're
is-
waiting.
Mine's way behind, so.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm behind as well.
Oh, Claire's in there with teal straight away. Well done, Claire.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. What should we have for Claire? Ooh, here we go. Oh! Oh!
She's got a book. How nice.
Signed book. Oh, Claire, I haven't actually signed it yet, but I will sign it, and I will sign it to you. So there you go, Claire. That's for you.
That's
I'm
so
glad you've
great.
won that. That's brilliant. So
Are you keeping a note of the prizes, Dawn?
Oh, yes, Claire, sorry. Yeah, I'll write that
I
down.
feel like we should also draw out some more treasure.
Yeah,
How's
so
that?
treasure. Ooh.
I think that would suit you,
Oh, yes. Jeez.
especially with a little
Wow.
bit of black paper coming.
I know. I love some pearls.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good time for you to read out one of your poems.
Yeah.
Would that be all right?
Okay. Yeah. So this poem was written about the pandemic. I think some of you might have heard it before if you listened to a radio interview I did. But it was born out of thinking about online church and about how online church does reach out to so many people who perhaps couldn't be a part of church before, whether physically or whether through working shifts or small children, whatever it is that was perhaps preventing people accessing church. We did find that people were engaging online, and I really wanted to sort of capture that, I guess, in a poem about how we might have lost some things that we find difficult about church, but I think that we also found some new things. So it's called Lost and Found. We lost the song. We lost the meetings and the greetings, all the gildings of all the buildings. We lost all our familiar, the comfort of the conciliar. We waited for the morning, the scourge of grieving yawning. We lost the ringing and yearned for the singing. We lost the song. We filled our rooms with the rescue of Zoom. All our dreams got entangled in screens. We ransacked old spaces and pioneered new places. We feared it was a ration and then burrowed into passion. We lost the walls and heard a new call. We lost the song, found new stories in unconfined glory, dug up fire in plague's quagmire, left power behind as church got undefined. We thought it might be weaker, but then we found the seekers. We lost the doors and opened up the floor. We found the song. Anguish got redeemed in looting things unseen. Hope got reborn in heaven's lavish core. We worshipped in the lounge and prayer got more profound. We blew out all the candles and launched into abandon. We lost the feeling and broke out of the ceiling. We found the song. Singing got restored in pushing to new shores, flinging out our claims and reaching for your rain. We unstuck from our pews and found our home in you. We excavated stores of heaven's boundless moors. We lost the steeple and met up with the people.
Wow.
There you go. And that was Lost and Found.
Love that
Love
one.
that. That is my favourite one, actually.
Yeah.
Is it?
Thank you.
Great.
I need a bit of champagne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait till
Deserve
so,
it.
yeah. No, that's really cool. I love it.
Yeah, I think we need another
We
prize
need
draw
another
now.
prize draw.
More
Okay, so
prizes.
Yeah.
question. A bit more of a difficult one, and this needs to be a local person. Where did Tim and I meet? So we might have to talk for a while until someone comes up with that one.
I think I know, mate.
Do you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I know
might have to,
vaguely, but do you need the specifics?
Like the spot on the car park.
Yeah.
Vaguely,
town or
vaguely
the-
will do. The kind of
Okay.
but
yeah.
the specifics even better. But we'll see.
Right.
We'll see what
Yeah.
people come up with. But we might have to give a. No, Rachel and Trudy, it wasn't uni. I'm afraid it wasn't uni.
Oh, see, I'd have
It's,
said that. I'd have said uni.
You see, it was actually before Tim and I went to uni.
Having said Admaster.
Before Tim went to uni. Tim is reminding me that he is indeed my toy boy. No, he went to uni after we met and I went before we met. So have we got anybody?
Oh.
Ah, yes, we have. So Sally says, I think Sally first says Ashburnham Place.
There you go.
Well done, Sally. So a prize for you, Sally. We have some proper treasure here.
Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah, the ambassadors'
lovely.
party.
Oh,
Well done, Sally. So I'll put that aside for you here. I think you're writing down who,
Yeah, I am making a note.
which is wonderful. So, oh, and a bit more jewellery maybe.
Oh,
Dawn.
Yeah,
you're the one, yeah.
I think that will go with what I'm
Adorn
wearing.
yourself.
I don't know.
Adorn yourself, Dawn.
Prost yourself.
Yeah.
So I would like to just chat to Caroline a little bit about the beautiful artwork that she has created for this book, which is it's so beautiful. You won't be able to see from here, but on the screen, Tim is just going to put some of the illustrations that Dawn created.
Caroline.
Caroline created. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'd like to take the credit for that.
Caroline created. Sorry, Caroline created for this. And basically, Caroline created a piece of artwork for each section of the book, and the book is split into 4 seasons. So Caroline created one for each season, but also for a beginning and an end poem, just to sandwich the book together. So I guess tell us a little bit about perhaps what inspired those pictures, or what your process was, or anything you'd like to.
Definitely your words, obviously, inspired them. And the one on the screen at the moment is the Alpha one, the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And there was a real feel of like God's hand on the world, and I was just, I just kept thinking hand, like God's creating. So there was a feeling of God offering the world to us, I guess, like that. I found you said, can you do them in black and white so we can print them more easily? And I was just, fine. And I read your poems, and they were so colourful. They're so full of colour, the words. It was the hardest thing to think of something black and white, and to be able to kind of envision like colour and bring that to life was actually quite tricky.
But I think you do. I mean, the one on the screen now is one of spring, which
that's the first one I did.
I think it's one of my favourites, which is this one. I just think you represented the poem so well.
Yeah, and you talked about like a darkness and coming out of the dark, and it just felt like, just appearing out of a tunnel and then with beauty, like adorning you, and not coming out to find the beauty, but the beauty coming out with you. Kind of thing is how you wrote, wasn't it? So,
it felt like you really wrapped up the kind of the darkness and the beauty at the same time in a really amazing way. And then we had summer.
Summer. It was a new way of drawing for me, but I kind of got into it. And I've actually been teaching Pathfinders how to do this as well. We had a really nice session drawing mountains like this, and I started it because I wanted to see God's thumbprint, God's fingerprint That's what I felt you were expressing. In the valley, in the bottom, not on the top, on the hilltops, and where you find joy and lightness and freshness, but you were saying how he's there at the bottom with you when you get to the bottom of that, and that's where the lines came from, and how it kind of grew from that. Yeah. So at the very bottom of that picture, it kind of looks a little bit thumbprinty, maybe.
No, definitely there was that kind of print.
Yeah.
And then I loved the autumn leaves because it was it just really represented that poem, which is actually based around leaves. The sort of introduction autumn poem is based around leaves and kind of God's intricate artwork himself and creation.
But
I think what was your what do you think your favourite one was to draw?
I think it was winter. In the autumn one, I don't know if you can see the person. There's like a person hiding in there, like in the middle of the leaves. But that's just on the screen at the moment. But my favourite one was the winter. I loved your winter poem because it kind of held that cold, crisp shininess of the frost kind of feel, but also like the waiting and like right on the edge of something new kind of thing, and it really spoke to me, and like Revelation 21 came to me, where there'll be no more crying, no more tears, no more, and I really felt like this was us standing on the edge of the world, waiting for that moment, waiting for the Revelation 21 when there'll be no more tears, no more crying, and that's what I think your whole book speaks of.
Can make me cry.
Like, just like, well, it does though, doesn't it? It really. And I felt like the winter hopefully shows, you waiting with God on the edge, not alone, not just hanging out there on a mountain by yourself, but hanging out with God, and Him waiting with you.
It's so captured that so beautifully.
Yeah.
And I absolutely adore the last one you did, which is about the Omega poem at the end, which is a poem about kind of how things will be.
Yeah.
And that the feathers in that drawing are just intricate and beautiful, and the angel is up on my screen now. It's just absolutely incredible.
I think I drew this bit when you asked me, and you hadn't sent me the poems, and I just thought I need to just draw something that comes to mind. So I just an angel just came to mind, and I have a bit of a fixation with wings and angels. Although I hate birds, it's weird, isn't it? I'm really obsessed with angel wings.
That is weird.
But I have a real fear of birds.
Oh.
I think it's something I'm going to be really redeemed of in heaven. I think I'm going to be some bird woman or something.
Have you illustrated books before?
No, never.
Have
I? No.
Yeah.
No, I've done a lot of drawings for Jared, but I don't think he used any. Another friend of mine who writes books. Yeah, so
this is your launching pad as well.
Yeah, it really is. I'm really honoured to be able to do it.
I've had a few people ask if they can buy prints of them.
Yeah, surely. We'll work that out.
Yeah, to get that somehow. Etsy shop or something.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what your favourite is, but you've already said that. So. It's amazing.
Yeah. Shall we go with another prize draw here?
Sure.
Yes.
Let's go with another local person. Sorry about that. This is a little bit more tough. If you've read my book, Catching Contentment, can you name any one of the the 4 sections? So the four sections all beginning with C. That's a really tough one, so I might have to give a clue to that one, but let's see how it goes. But maybe while you're thinking about that, we could ask Dawn what your favourite bit was.
I love the poems, but I have to say the stories were my favourite bit. And I've just put a review up actually on Amazon, and in it I've said, normally short stories, they don't really cut it for me. They're a bit too brief and you can't get into the story very well. But, I read yours, and each of them really it just painted this lovely picture. It kind of just brought alive some of the stories of the Bible that happened 2,000 years ago, and I could sort of, it's like I could smell the heat and taste the wine and and hear the cries or the voices. It was they were just so I found them really, really inspiring. And but I have to say, my favourite one, if you were going to press me,
yeah, we are,
which you are, my favourite one is actually one, and it stands out amongst them all as being slightly different because it's not set 2,000 years ago like most of them are. It's actually set in the future, and it's called Bread of Life. So it's sort of, you think it's going to be, it sounds kind of religious, but it's a completely new take on an old story. So it's the story of Elijah and the widow Zarephath, and what happens when she is left with nothing except just a little bit of flour, a little bit of oil, and then and she meets Elijah, and how God meets her need. And so Liz has written this in the future. It's kind of like a dystopian society, I suppose, because there's nothing for her, for this single mum with her little toddler, and it's just so clever. It's so beautifully written, and I think the thing I loved about it is the fact that it kind of connects with me, and it makes me think, God isn't just a God of 2,000 years ago, and I mean I know that anyway, but it just reminds me of this, that, our God is the same today and in the future. And some of these miracles that we read about, they're happening in the here and now, and they will happen in the future. So I'd say that's my favourite.
Yeah.
So would you read a bit for us?
I can read a little bit. Should we just go for that prize draw first?
Yes.
I think the first in was Penelope with Contagious.
Yeah.
Are you local, Penelope? If you're not, Malteser that I can eat for you if you like. But there you go. Well done for getting that. That's great. And actually, let's do another one while I read this story. So maybe you guys could keep an eye on the screen to see who gets it first. So the first person to tell me which book of the Bible this story is based on. There you go. Okay. Right, so the first little bit of Bread of Life. I was at the end of myself. I hadn't thought it would come to this. I knew things were getting worse, that I was running out of options, that the nation was folding in on itself and could offer me little help and hope. I went to the benefits office and was sanctioned because my bus didn't come and I had to walk, pushing my son in his buggy 3 miles through ravaged, lonely streets. I lost my universal credit and I had nothing. I'd always been good at baking. It was something I turned to when everything else piled in on me, when I got lost in despair and hope fled the building. I would stand in my tiny kitchen, in my tiny flat, my toddler on the floor banging on some saucepans, and knead the dough, pounding my fist into its flesh again and again. But now I had barely any ingredients left. I had a little flour and oil, but it would barely make one tiny loaf. What was the point? I tried the food bank, of course, but they had nothing left, their stocks depleted by a famine that swept the nation without warning. I was all alone with him, my little boy, my world, and I was failing him. I'd lost my job, and I couldn't even get an interview for another, not even to stack shelves in Tesco or wash dishes in a pub. Nobody wanted me. A single mum with ratty hair and a bawling toddler in tow. Nobody wanted me, and I had nothing. That day, I'd had an odd thought drop into my head, the kind you get when you have déjà vu, or the edges of a dream. I'd had this feeling that I should go down to the council offices that day. I needed to anyway. They'd cut off my electric again, and I had no way to bake my bread, even if I had enough ingredients. There was no point trying to get them on the phone. I'd be waiting for hours, passed from one automaton to another, and then told I needed to insert more money in the meter, but I had no money. Maybe I should just go down to the council, beg for my electric, go home, bake a last loaf, and then die. Me and my boy. No future, no hope. At least we could die together, cuddled up under my duvet. Even the hospitals wouldn't take him now, or social services, with the system collapsed like a pack of cards. No hope, no future, nothing. I arrived at the gate to the council building, staring at the dereliction around the city since the drought and the riots. Even some of the windows on the offices were smashed, the whole place forlorn and lost, like a sinking ship in a storm. I'd have no joy here, I thought. What was the point of me coming? What was the point of me subjecting myself and my son to this late autumn morning, a wintry kind of day, the frozen, dried-out land parched in longing for water, and the air reverberating with the cries of the ghosts of those who'd already given up? I hesitated at the gate, looking down at Sam, fast asleep in his buggy. I wish I was him, with all his innocence and all his joy, with his ability to turn life into wonder and adventure, even when we live so frugally. I wish I could protect him. I became aware of someone nearby, a man in a large green coat, hood covering half of his bearded face. A tramp, possibly. And I'll leave it there, hanging for you.
Ooh, cliffhanger.
See who the tramp was and what happened.
It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, did we get an answer to what Bible verse was this from?
You got 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 3 Kings. 1 Kings 17, Genesis, 1 Kings 19.
Who was the first to say 1 Kings?
Okay, I think it was Vicky Cottingham.
Okay.
Yep.
In that case, Vicky Cottingham, you have a signed copy. Well done.
That's the book.
You write that down for
I'm writing
me.
it.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant.
Right, where are we? So, I think that I was just going to share with you just a few things about a few endorsements and what people were saying about the book, but my breath has gone, so would one of you like to maybe just read some snippets of the front bits, not all of them, just some snippets.
So if I read one and then you can, Caroline.
Yeah, sure.
So Patrick Regan, who's an author and a speaker and director of Kintsugi Hope, has written, "The pieces in Treasure in Dark Places are beautiful. I love them. Liz Carter has an amazing gift to give language to some of our deepest feelings. Highly recommended."
He's an OBE.
Yeah, there you go.
That's so cool. This is Emily Owen. She's an author and speaker, and she says, through storytelling, meditation and scripture, Liz Carter uncovers gems for us. The creative retelling of biblical stories is powerful and moving, drawing us in to see their relevance today, encouraging us to place ourselves within their narrative. Treasure in Dark Places offers space to be real, space to acknowledge that life is hard sometimes, and space to see chinks of light coming into and illuminating the shadows. Take your time with this book, go gently, and stop to mine the depths of riches you discover along the way.
And shall I read another one?
Yeah, just one more.
Okay,
maybe.
one more.
Yeah.
So this is from Dr. Kate Middleton, who's pastor and director of Mind and Soul Foundation. And she says, "This is an outpouring, a beautiful communication of emotions and passions mixed and mingled. The marvel and the mystery, the passion and the pain. God present even in times of pandemic, of pain, of lockdown, of loneliness, of loss. Liz combines her beautiful poetry with her retelling of moments in the life of Jesus. This is a book to ponder, a book to pray into, a book to read somewhere it's okay to let the tears fall as you do so. A book to dip into, to let God speak through, to inspire, to comfort and to console your soul. Liz herself is present in every word with candour and honesty, offering a window into her own reflections, but also enabling something beyond her to speak, the Spirit of God. which whispers over the words she has written. Utterly, achingly beautiful.
Thank you. So thank you to all those who endorsed the book. I so appreciate your help. And I also want to thank everyone who was on the launch team with me, who had a chance to read the book beforehand, who've been sharing it and reviewing it. I so much appreciate your support in that, and really want to thank you and say God bless you for that. That's great. Just looking at some of the comments on the feed. Gemma says, "You're like the new Charlie Mackesy, Caroline."
That is praise indeed.
It is. It's great, isn't it? And people are saying it'd be great to be able to order some prints or cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can get a nice little thing going with that. That would be good. Yeah. And just great to see you all. Oh yeah, Georgie says she'd buy a print. God's thumbprint in the valley. So clever.
Oh,
I love that. Yeah, yeah. It's just great to see you all here. Too many to go through, but thank you so much for commenting. Yeah, if anyone's got any questions they'd like to ask me now, do drop that on the thread as we sort of wrap this up towards the end. And then we're just going to have a final prize draw. Oh, Marissa says, is it possible to buy signed copies? Oh yes, we're going to talk about where you can get the books. So you can get them on Amazon, on Kindle, on Kobo ebooks if you prefer not to go with Amazon. They're also available at Waterstones now. And also I will be selling signed copies, but I don't have any yet really to sell, so it might be a couple of weeks before I'm doing that because I haven't got stock in. I haven't been that organised. But yes, after a while I'll be selling signed copies. But I ideally, if you can get them on Amazon things for now, just to help it be seen, that would be great. But yes, I will be doing that. Sarah says, "What's next?"
No pressure.
Well, funnily enough, I'll introduce the last question to the final prize draw with that question, Sarah. So whoever can guess the most crazy, outlandish idea for my next book, and the one that we like best, we'll give the final prize to. So, so if you've got any ideas, then drop them here. But seriously, what's next? I don't actually know, because I've got 3 books on the go, and I don't quite know what to go with at the moment. So wisdom would be great for that. 2 of them are fiction. One of them is another non-fiction one, which is a bit more like Catching Contentment. And that was the one I'd actually started writing earlier in the year. So yeah. Okay, so what else have we got? Are you still writing new poems and stories, said Laura. Yeah, always writing new poems, and I do want to write more of those stories, those types of stories, and maybe even a longer form story in that kind of genre, with a retelling of the Bible stories, because people really seem to relate to that. So maybe
yeah. It kind of, it just brings it alive in a new way, that no matter how many times you translate the Bible, it just comes across the same. Whereas a new telling of it just makes you see it in a new way, I think.
Yeah. Claire says, dystopian trilogy for teenagers, want to read the rest. Thank you, Claire. I'm glad that you enjoyed the first one. That might well be in the pipeline. I might be getting that out quite soon. I have written book 2 of that.
That's cool.
Yeah, so why are you giving me a signal?
I think you said 3.
Yes, I've written book 2, but I haven't written book 3 yet. No, I haven't. Not that I know of, anyway.
Gemma's asked, which is your favourite poem or story?
Oh, that's a really... It's really hard, because I have so many favourites that I enjoyed writing. So I really enjoyed writing the story about the wise one, which is slightly different, and it's in the Christmas section. And it's just a little bit slightly surreal. It's a story of somebody who goes and finds Jesus with the wise men, but again from modern times. So it's just a little bit mystical, a little bit out there, and I really love writing that one. And for the poem, I loved writing a I can't remember what it was called, but it was the Easter Sunday poem, which was like a rhyming poem for Easter Sunday, Sunday 2. I love that one. And also a Christmas one called Joy in the Morning. I love that. So, but yeah, it's hard to choose, to be honest, which one I enjoyed writing most. Laura says, is there another study based on this? No, not yet, but maybe I could think about that one. Maybe, yeah. I'm just seeing if there's any other questions. Yeah. David said, call this a book launch, more like a liner, it's that good.
Does he mean a ship?
I don't know. Was it a typo? I don't know.
But the technical wizardry is Tim, isn't it?
Yeah, the technical wizardry is Tim, so I want to say thank you to Tim.
Yeah.
Oh, Anita's got a good idea what my life would look like without my chronic health condition. Gosh.
Oh.
Do you know what? I can't even imagine, because it's been with me all my life. But it'd be interesting to write about that and see what happens.
Yeah.
Christine says, retelling of acts with prose and poems. Oh, that's an exciting thought. Oh, you're all giving me too many ideas now. This is not good. I don't need more ideas.
Have you seen Ruth's idea? She says, your next project, someone to become the online book launch queen. If you can write a manual to guide us all, I think it would sell out. She says.
This was very much with the help of my dear friends and my dear husband.
Stylist Caroline.
My socially distanced friends. That's wonderful. How do you feel, Sue says, about using poems or stories for readings, etc.? Yeah, I've said in the book, I'm really happy for you to use them in church if you want to, or for readings in groups. If you could just credit me and credit the book, that would be wonderful. But yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Laura says, does writing energise or exhaust you? That's a good question.
It is a good question. It depends what stage you're in. I think the initial writing, when the ideas are flowing, and when the words are sort of coming more quickly, it's really energising, and I'm super high. Tim will tell you what I'm like when I get ideas, and I'm sort of up at night thinking about them, and sometimes I have to be making notes in my phone at night, and it's really energising. But then other stages are a bit more exhausting, a little bit, some of the editing and that kind of bit. Yeah, sorry. David says, how do you get it in Shrewsbury? You can ask the bookshop. What's the bookshop called in Shrewsbury? Illuminate, that's right. You can ask Illuminate to order it in, because they should be able to, because it is distributed by the people that bookshops can order it in from. So you could ask them to order it in, or you could just buy it online.
That's really cool.
Yeah. There's so many things here. I wonder what my favourite thing is to give the prize to. What do you reckon, ladies? What's your favourite idea out of all of these? There's so many. I think I'm quite liking the idea of the Book of Acts represented as
that seems
poems and prose. I really like that one. Who said that one? Because I'm going back now.
Christine Williams.
I really like that idea. So you're going to get some chocolate coins, or maybe you're not. Depending on if we all eat them first. If you want to send me your address for chocolate coins, I'm more than happy to pop them in the post in a little padded envelope. So there you go. Well, it's treasure. So there we go.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Is there any more before we go that I just want to? Thank you so much for all your lovely comments. I will get to try and answer them later on as I kind of look through them. So let's kind of end with launching it officially.
Do you think I think this book is officially that was There's one just hanging on something.
Wow. Timmy's just sitting there in the corner going, glitter bits all over the carpet.
That was great.
That was good. I like that.
That was lovely. It's gone all over our cake.
I know.
We haven't eaten yet. We eat some cake now.
We eat cake now. Yeah.
So if you do read the book and you'd like to leave a review, I would really appreciate that. A review on Amazon or Goodreads or anywhere else you find it. That would be very much appreciated. And I think we'll close it up there. So I hope you enjoy the book, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.